start with Sue Young, who's our VP of Membership. Can you talk a little bit about what your role is in this group?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Soo Young Lee. I'm the VP of Membership. I'm just helping people to write down the application form to join in this club. So just if you guys have any questions to be in this club, just come to me and talk to me. Thank you.
Thank you. And next here is our president, Alan.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alan. I'm the president of the club. My job is to help out the club and see what we can do to help our club to achieve the next level. And also to collaborate with the different clubs and see if we can invite speakers to come here, or we can organize a field trip to go to a different club to see how they operate. Thank you very much for showing up for tonight. Thank you.
And next we have our secretary, Lee Tu.
Hi, I'm the secretary. Oh, okay, thank you. All right, I'm basically here to push papers around and if you are a guest, please leave me an email address so we can get in touch with you. I'll only send you one email. I won't spam you, and that way you can get in touch with us in case you're interested in joining and get more information if you need any. Who's new tonight? First time visitor. Great, for you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I am Marshika. I'm the vice president of PR, so I will spam you. Just kidding. I will send out more emails to kind of remind people of updates, announcements, and such. So, all right. And now I'd like to. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go on. Okay, so I'd like to introduce the meeting roles we have for today. So we have our awe counter, who is Philip. Here, he will be keeping. I meant timer. Okay. Philip is our timer tonight. So, Philip, can you tell us a little bit what you're going to be doing?
I'm going to be keeping track of time. For the speeches, I believe, depending on what speech you have, it's anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes or 5 to 7 minutes. When you hit in the 5-minute speech, when you hit the 5-minute mark, I'm going to show the green card. When you hit the 6-minute, then I'm going to show the yellow card. And when you hit the 7-minute mark, you hit the red card. And generally, you try not to go over. When you hit the red card, you try to finish it within 30 seconds. And that's what I'll be doing for the speeches. For the table topics, they're usually like 1 to 2 minutes long. And when we hit the 1-minute mark, I'll go with the green card. When we hit a minute and a half, I'll go with the yellow card. When we hit 2 minutes, then that's the red card. So just look to me if you're not sure, where you're at when you're up here speaking.
Thank you, Philip.
Thank you.
And then our awe counter is Alberto.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests. My role is a counter. I will count or, so, neither, just to practice. And then I will get a report at the end of the meeting. Thank you very much.
And next we have 3 speakers for tonight. We have Timo, who will be giving a speech in English, although he's not here yet, so we'll see if he'll come later. Next we have Marco. He was just here. He went to the bathroom probably. Okay, he will also be giving a speech in English. And then finally we have Ursula, who will be giving her first Mandarin speech. Is that right?
Yeah, that's all.
下面由 Ursula 给我们她的第一个中文演讲是奶油或糖。谢谢。
Okay. Our English table topics session will be led by Alberto also. Mandarin table topics will be done by Barry, right there. And then Elliot is our general evaluator for tonight. So, all right. So, first, here he is, Marco.
May I clarify one thing? Icebreakers are 4 to 6, so just something for the timer and on top for.
Okay. So I'd like to ask our first speaker, Marco, if he could please come up and give his speech. This will be his first speech, his icebreaker. He's going to be telling us all about him. And the title of his speech is, Where Do I Begin? So, Marco.
Actually, I have lost my voice, so I'm not sure
Yeah, you can do
Yeah,
it.
you can do it. We can hear
Just
you.
fine, yeah.
You can give your speech
Come on.
softly,
Yeah.
and we will listen hardly.
Or
we'll hardly listen.
I can't really.
Yeah.
If at some point your voice is really hurting, then that's okay, we should let it go.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. Thank you, Marco. Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. and Madam Toastmasters and guests and dear members. Today my topic is, where do I begin to talk about myself, I guess. Because of the timing issues, being a new member, I has been instructed that timing is very important, so I don't want to take too much time and making sure I'm not going over the hours. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself in two areas. Number one, I grew up in a single family and a broken home, if you may. My father was never a part of my life. He did not support our family, my mother, myself, and my siblings. Unfortunately, my mother wasn't a loving person either. But I'm telling you about this not to make you feel sorry for me, because I once learned that in life we we're dealt different cards, and sometimes it's up to us. We can feel sorry for ourselves, and make excuses. I'm going to go to jail, I'm going to do this, I'm going to screw up in jobs and get fired. I can beat up women and say, hey, that's me. No. To me, it's up to us to use whatever cards that we are given. And to say that because I used to be a very shy person. A little boy growing up, I was afraid to talk about myself, because if my schoolmates are talking about their fathers, their happy family, I would be sitting there maybe trying to hold back my tears, walk away because I was ashamed of myself, don't understand. Maybe it was something wrong with me. But it's not, really, Unlike a good friendship, which I believe in and have learned since then, it has to be win-win, that I'm giving you something, I'm taking back. So it's a give and take relationship. That's a normal, that's a healthy relationship. Unfortunately, in a parental situation, as a child, as a son, I depend everything, from my parents. But that's history, I had to learn to move on, and I did. And one of the things that affects me, that's what I'm telling you, is that I value education very much, because I have learned that you have to be a seeker. You have to understand. Let's say if I grew up in a family, somebody said, or my parents said, Marco, 2 + 2 is 14. If I believe that and accept that, that I'm going to be in trouble, because that's not the truth. So having learned that, I like to learn. I go to school. I put myself through school. I study in my master program. I'm studious. So, I enjoy learning. So if I go to a doctor's appointment, if the doctor tells me, oh, you know what, you have to wait another hour, so something is delaying me, I'm sorry, that's fine. I usually have a book with me, especially in San Francisco. I can drive to work and bear with the stress of finding parking or getting tickets. So, I would just read in the book, in the bus. So that's fine. Secondly, I wanted to share with you about myself is that I grew up in Hong Kong. For those of you who doesn't understand Hong Kong, it is a tiny British colony given to the British government for many years. About 1950s, until 1997 when China took back China, I mean Hong Kong. And it was a colony, you know, and it was like not growing up in your parents' home, you know, somebody's taking care of you. So, so I say, the people in Hong Kong were not encouraged to be community-minded, you know. Whereas, on the contrary, in my opinion, they were encouraged to make the most money, enjoy a good life, you know, nice car, nice clothes, you know, jewelries, and get drunk maybe. No, not all of them, but you know, it's a different culture, you know. But the positive part of it is that it's like the song New York, New York. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. And to me, I think people of Hong Kong are like that. You know, they're smart, they're hard workers, they're very creative. So in that part, I'm proud to be a person of Hong Kong. And lastly, I spent some time at joining the U.S. Air Force because part of me, I am living and being, I have adopted this country to my country. And that's my way to serve and to give back to the community. But also it was an eye-opener for me. You know, not, if I were lived to live in California, I would not have learned what I've learned. You know, I've seen Georgia, Texas, Hawaii, Massachusetts, different places in this country. And I also experienced some racism. I used to date a girl, and she would not let me drive her home, you know, because her parents didn't like Chinese to date her daughter. But, you know, people, there are all kinds of people in this world. And also, I must say that I also met nice people, made good friends. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Marco.
谢谢 Marco，你讲的很好，让我很感动。
谢谢，谢谢，thank you.
Okay, next we have Timo, who will be giving his third speech, which is Get to the Point, and it is entitled Exploration. So, Timo.
Hello everyone. So I just titled my speech Exploration, so I can use the word mainly. But also, thank you. Also, you know, I just want to help you guys. Maybe, you know, you're not as familiar as I am with the technology I'm going to talk about, but I'd like to sort of take you on this journey so you can, if you're not familiar with it, explore what's up, you know, what are the emerging technologies and how some of these technologies might change our lives in the next 5 or 10 years. Some of you may already know I do product design. I design and develop products, consumer electronics, and so on and so forth, lifestyle products every day. And a big part of that is 3D printing. So what does 3D printing mean? It means something to me, but I think in the next 10 years it's going to mean, you know, something really valuable to a lot of people who actually don't do design, who actually don't engineer, but just want to have an object, just want to have a doorknob, just want to have an architectural project printed and a little building that you can present to somebody. You know, I think this is going to change our lives in the health industry, and nowadays they even 3D print meat. They use, you know, little cells, and they just keep printing skin and meat and so on and so forth. And how this does it, it adds material layer by layer, and at the end of this, you end up with a 3D object. And depending on the technology you use, this might be fragile, it may not be, it might be flexible. It might actually replace your own. And we have this technology today. And another aspect of this is, you know, more and more, we don't have to go outside to get things. We want to read books, we order them online. We get it to our door. We want to read books, we download them. So in the next 5-10 years, I think more and more, when we want something, we're just going to download a file and then hit a button, and our little printer is going to print us the doorknob you needed, or the vase you needed, the glass you needed. And you're just going to have it in 2 hours. You're not going to have to step outside your home, go shop someplace. You want it in a different color, you're just going to have to push another button. And the price of this technology goes down every day, pretty much. And it's becoming more and more popular, not just in the US, but all around the world. And actually the leading firm in this industry is from Israel. And more and more US, Israel, and Asia emerge into bringing this technology closer to us. And one more aspect of this that actually made me think that this could change a lot of things is the so-called defense application of this technology. And about 6 months ago, somebody in the online product design community 3D printed a rifle. And it's ended up being a working rifle too. And what he did he just found the designs of the rifle online on a website, and he had a 3D printer. He hit the button, print the pieces one at a time. He put it together. 4 hours later, no certification, no background check. He had a working rifle in his hands. And this made a lot of people think what this might mean. So, as you know, more and more in military, in the defense industry, the use of robots, so to speak, is becoming more and more popular. Drones are the most popular form of this, but more and more, the idea is to replace humans with robots. So, lives are not at danger. And I don't want this to scare everybody, but this actually is a little worrisome. And one of the defense contractors in the U.S. Made a deal with the leading technology provider, and they said, we're going to purchase this many of your printers, and we're actually going to start using this technology just like that one individual did, and we're going to pump out rifles, 1,000 a day. And I'm guessing because of ethical reasons or their internal discussions, actually the 3D printer provider canceled the deal. They said maybe it was the government who intervened, but they said we're not going to go forward with this right now. We're just going to hold on to it. Let's see what the future holds, because everybody's a little uneasy about the unclarity of this right now. And at the same time, when you're out there doing service, you're missing something. You're traveling, let's say, you're missing something. You're missing a knife. You're missing, I'm not sure, something that goes in your backpack. You can just find some place with Wi-Fi, download the product, and then go to, we used to have internet cafes. We don't have them anymore, but maybe we're going to have 3D printer cafes. And you're just going to take your, little SIM card there, put it in there, print what you need, and get out of there, Maybe our cell phone housings, the actual plastic part of it is going to be do it yourself, and you're just going to buy the internals and put it in there, I think this is very interesting, and it's going to make everybody a lot more free with what they want to have, what they don't want to have, what they want to make in life, and the things they want to use, the colors of things, and it's just going to be interesting, I think, in the next 10 years or so. So I just wanted to let you know about this technology, see how you feel about it. You may or may not have heard about it, but I think it's going to be an interesting journey. So thank you.
Thank you, Timo. That was very interesting. Good to know. We'll be looking for those 3D printer cafes in the future.
对对，非常有趣，我想将来一定很有用。谢谢。
Next, we have Ursula, who will be giving her speech in Mandarin, which is entitled Cream or Sugar.
欢迎 Ursula。
今晚要点什么？嗨，我想要点一杯咖啡。请问要滴落式咖啡还是冲泡咖啡吗？我要冲泡咖啡。请问要瓜地麻辣还是伊索巴呀？我要瓜地麻辣。要不要空精加奶？啊，不要，谢谢。带座还是这里喝吗？这里。很多问题，请问你贵姓？我叫乌苏拉。请问怎么拼 ？Ursula。啊 ，Ursula。当你的咖啡好时，我们会叫你。谢谢。点一杯咖啡的过程其实很复杂，因为选择太多了。为什么我们需要这个多的选择呢？太多的选择反而会有副作用，像是忽然停止思考能力，乐趣减低，因为简单思辨的不够好，把精神花在不重要的地方。昨天晚上，我问我的朋友要不要吃晚饭。我可以问他很多问题，像是想要地铁吃，想吃什么，要不要吃别人一起来，如果要叫这个人。可是我直接说，我想吃伊索比亚菜叫莫亚，因为很近。我的朋友问我地址在哪，20分钟后我就再去他的 3D printer 的办公室的路上，真的，他的公司是Type A machines， 因为他叫我先去他的办公室跟他碰面，然后一起去。如果之前我问他要不要吃饭，然后还叫他选4个决定，是很不礼貌的，所以我决定问是或不是的问题。不过不管怎么样，饭多是要吃，接着有是一个人或是跟陌生人吃，不管怎么都很好。吃完饭后，我问他要不要喝茶，他说，所以我想点要茶。 服务员说好，服务员说好，只有一种。我说进来2份，简单而且好喝。如果今天饭店知道有一些空间给南京的话，他们就不用一个个问客人，而客人也不用一个个回答。他们少一份选择，少一份杂音，所以自带就不需要做无谓的选择。所以人们可以做更重要的选择，像是跟朋友之间用的字，还有脸上的表情。你们喝咖啡吗？Marco， 你在你的公共汽车，你可以喝咖啡，你有时间等一下。谢谢你们。
Thank you, Ursula. That was awesome. I didn't understand it, but I.
对，Ursula 讲得非常好，而且她第一次用中文讲这么自信，又讲这么清楚，发音非常标准非常感谢 Ursula， 谢谢。
So we are now going to move to the second part of our meeting, which is the table topic session. Purpose of what's going to take place is the leaders of each session is going to have a topic and then choose someone to come up for 1 to 2 minutes to speak. So the English table topic session will be led by Alberto. So Alberto, you'd like to?
Sure. Probably surprised what's the topic, but the topic is exploration, 探索。We are resistant for exploration, but exploration is something which is in our mind, in our DNA, is part of the humankind. It's going to be really hard to stop exploration. We want to move to really different frontiers, and it will be for us really hard to explain and how to assimilate. This is the basic definition of exploration. So my third topic is going to be based on exploration by human beings on traveling. And today's topic was Columbus Day. Columbus Day is really controversial. I don't want to go through to that topic because otherwise we will be divided right or left, center or whatever. So I want to be more open. We're going to start with the past. Before Columbus was in America, I assume and I guess after my readings, many Chinese explorers went through to different parts of the world. There was a really famous Chinese explorer called Khufu, or Shufu. He went to Japan twice, and his purpose was to find the elixir of life. So in Japan, there are many statues for Khufu. In many places, he's like considered a god because he brought many plants, many medicines, everything from China. And he did 2 trips, 2019 before and 2010. So my question is, for anyone in the audience, since the historical moments for the historians is to find out the moment of truth. And I read the book 1492 when the Chinese went to Americas. Is anyone in the room who is able to say, yes, I believe that? Raise your hands, or I will choose. I think she liked the question. Yeah. Oh, I can read your lips.
So I'm a guest today, so I'm trying to just do what I can. So the position that I'm taking is that I believe the Chinese actually found America before Columbus. Correct?
Yes.
So when we think about the topic of exploration, the Chinese of 5,000 years of history invented the basics of human innovations, wheels, actually the Egyptian did that, but silk, gunpowders, and really it's the first civilization that has been documented through many different generations of texts, as well as across different heritage across the world recognize that. And the book 1492 explicitly stated the details around how the sea and the current and the technology that the Chinese had invented really is the only country and the only people with the technology at that time to be able to find and explore and land in America. So I think the position of Alberto has guided us to is the Chinese really did invented the naval navigation and found America and being the first one there.
This is free speech. You say whatever you want. Here is no censorship. There is no rules so far in this room. If you read really back in the history, tablets, talk about tablets, which right now is the new toy. Were used for more of those explorers to bring knowledge from place to place. Here is one of the most controversial, I call past-present momentum, when Neil Armstrong put the foot in the moon. Probably many of you were in the process of somewhere, but some people here remember. Neil Armstrong said, that one more step for a man, one giant leap for mankind was done July 21, 1969. So far today, there are many people who are really skeptical about the moon landing by Neil Armstrong. Can you believe it? Still, you can see news, you can go to the museum, you see the rocks, you see the pictures, and we still have skeptical people. Is anyone over here who believes in that? If it doesn't give you position about Neil Armstrong stepping on the moon. Lalin, I see you.
So, I'm not a skeptic. So I do believe that Neil Armstrong did land on the moon in 1969, and I don't think, I believe our government does not need to make a story like that up. We do explore and we do go to large space programs. Just like recently the Mars landing and the rover. I don't think that's it's not fabricated, it's real. Things like that are happening today, and it happened in '69, the same. part of humanity exploring and finding new territory. And there's no reason that we should be making stories like that up.
Of course, we like to move to the future, right? This is what Lynn said. We're moving to that direction. We don't know how. It's the DNA, it's the destiny, it's part of mission in life. We don't know. Everyone in this room maybe can be someday the inhabitant in Mars. I don't know, we can see each other again, hopefully. Maybe in different form. And recently, a few days ago, the robot, I don't know if it's robot, it's a human robot, sent us next picture. Look at this. This is a representation from a lake called Hotab, similar to the one we have in Canada. The same structures, they're the same, rock. And also he or she sent a picture, curiosity, of the rocks in Mars. Look at this. Just think about it. You imagine yourself, like people said, push the button in 3D and we'll be in Mars in -5 seconds. I believe that because my imagination is beyond. I believe in exploration. I believe in dreams, science. So my question is, what do you think we want to do with Mars? What is the whole goal? Johan.
Well, Alberto, I think that Mars would be a great future colony for humans after Earth, because we always hear on the news that scientists talk about Mars and how there's always signs of life, like formations that look very similar to lakes or rock formations down here on Earth. And scientists have found evidence of previous water life on Mars, and there's been controversial stuff, but they've talked about even finding possible fossilized microbes on Mars as well. So all of this kind of lends the idea to me that Mars could possibly be the next destination for humans for a permanent settlement outside of Earth, other than the moon. And especially since we are using up a lot of the resources on our planet, like water and natural gas, trees and the forests. So resources and oil resources are becoming more scarce. So eventually, I think that as technology improves, we may want to increase our capacity to go beyond our own natural borders within our planet, possibly to the moon, to Mars, and maybe even further, especially since it does have many similar characteristics to the Earth. So I do believe that it is a possibility, maybe far off, maybe closer than we think, but I definitely do think it is a possibility.
We are connected, we're like brothers and sisters. I don't know what's going on, but there is in alchemy, there is always a sign which is what is below is above. Someone say that. I don't know. It's like mirrors. Sometimes we see ourselves walking on the street, we look like in mirrors. Or he look like me, or she's look like me, I don't know. So finally, to close my tip topics for exploration, I want you to read this quote from Eliot, who wrote in 1600, in a little book which is really fun to read. They call it Little Gideon. Really, you get the book, you can read it. And he said, we shall never cease from exploration. And in the end of their exploring, will be arrived where we started. And we know the place for the first time. It's a point. Alan Toastmaster.
fascinating table topics. It'll give us a lot to think about.
对啊，很有趣。也许我们今天在地上，也许很快我们就上天了，住在天上了。谢谢 Alberto。接下来呢是中文的 Toastmaster， 中文的即兴演讲。今天我们的即兴演讲官呢是 Barry， 现在欢迎 Barry。
所以今天的主题是探索。那就是探索就是中国人常讲一句话，就是天时地利人和，就是3个成功的要素。当然还有包括那个自己本身的努力。我想，那今天这个 table topic 我们就来探索一下说，所谓天时地利人和，基本上是讲3个元素嘛，就是。天时就是一般来讲，就是可能是事情发生的时间，就是所谓的 timing。那事情发生的地点，还有说是事情发生在什么人的身上。那中国历史上最有名的有关天时地利人和这个故事，就是一本很有名的小说，叫做《三国演义》。我想这边可能有受过中国教育的人，大概都知道这个故事。那天时地利人和在《三国演义》里面，就是基本上它有3个主角。曹操呢是在北方的一个，算是当时继承了之前那个皇帝的一个正统的一个王位，所以一般人讲到曹操是他有所谓的天时，因为他照理说是他的时间当那个时代的皇帝，但是他没有地利跟人和。那地利就是刚好落在第2个国家的身上，孙权的那个吴国。因为他的国家在长江的南面，就是他的国家有受那个长江跟长江三峡的那个长江的那个地形的保护。那第3个国家就是刘备的国家。那一般人在《三国演义》里面，很多的故事都是围绕在刘备的跟他身边手下的一些帮助他的人，包括孔明，包括关羽跟一些其他知名的人物。那一般人讲到刘备，就是说他有所谓的人和。那这3个国家，它基本上在那段时间之内没有能够把中国整个统一起来，就是因为他们各自3个国家有他们自己的天时，有人有地利，有人有人和，但是没有一个国家是真正有3个东西全部合在一起的，所以他们到最后就是还是一个3国分裂的一个情况。那我们今天的 table topic， 我想既然我们讲到这个东西，那顺便跟我们结合一下，就是探索。那如果今天你有选择可以，譬如说你可以有一个时光机器，你可以回到以前，或是回到未来，或走到未来，那你会想要去什么样的一个时空背景？这是我第一个问题。那我想聊聊吧，上来发表一下意见。
你今天也已经有机会讲了，所以最好是选。
是啊，那是。天地人3个选择，那如果你可以选天，就是所谓的时间或 timing， 你可以回到古时候，可以回到未来。那如果你可以选择这样的话，你会探索一个什么样的一个时代？
我小孩的时候我也读过那个《三国演义》，我最喜欢的人是刘备啊。然后如果
所以你要讲人吗？可以啊。
谁？
你要讲就是说，我基本上3个问题，一个是天，一个是人。就是说，如果是人的话，你可以选择说，今天我要当刘备。那如果你是刘备的话，为什么你喜欢做他？那你要跟他有什么不一样的作为？这样子。
对，我最喜欢的人是刘备，因为他有很多人帮助他的吧。然后，但是我觉得他最失败的理由是他的儿子吧。他没有什么教育他的儿子很好，所以 所以天潮潮带着那个天吧，他的天真的好，所以他的儿子比尤菲的儿子好，带着很好的教育，所以如果我去我在《三国演义》的话，我觉得尤菲有了很好的人，但是我还要是查查，因为他教育他的儿子很好，我觉得教育最重要的。
谢谢你素。我想教育是非常重要的一件事情啊，这个跟我们传统中国人的观念是完全一致的。那我想第二个，我请 Cathy 上来发表一下。你可以选天或地。我想那个素他基本上讲的人嘛。那我再重复一下，就是说你今天可能是有一个时光机器，或者说有一个东西可以送你到任何一个地方或任何一个时间地点，那你会选什么样的时间地点，或是什么样的地方？为什么？
我想回到三个田地之前的时代。
三国时代之前。
因为没有那么多的竞争，我不想看到那个信息的打出来竞争是没有好的结果。虽然曹操最后都可以把很多的国家进行一个天下，可是这个过程之中很多人死了，我觉得那很不好。我只想围绕三个之前的时代。谢谢。
最后一个选项就是地点哦，就是说可能想想看，就是说 Columbus 他发现了美国大陆，那发现一个很好的地方，那就是所以他现在这么有名。那想想看，如果 Columbus 发现的是一个小岛或是一个现在没有人居住的地方，我想他到现在没有人会认识他是谁。那所以第三个问题，我想，还有谁会讲？还有谁想上来发表一下意见？会讲国语的，或是想要练习？
Well, he hasn't answered.
Amy.
他也 Samuel.
What is the question? So you have a choice to explore, right? I guess the only option you have now is the place, right? You could explore any place, any given place, then either on the Earth or other space.
一个地方。
对 And which one would you choose? Why?
什么时空也可以，什么时间也可以。
对，都可以。
都可以。如果我可以去一个地方，我会选月球，因为我觉得月球是一个没有其他人可以很方便都可以都到的地方。如果可以，好像有一个方法，一个时空门，好像哆啦 A 梦的一样的时空门，就去到月球，可以看到一些在地球上不能看到的东西，可以看看地球，我觉得那个影响应该很好，感觉应该很好。谢谢。
那希望今天这三个不同的主题能够让大家就是引发你的一些想法或者深思。也许你就是想想看说，如果有机会的话，我会想要回到什么样的时间或是时空地点，或是说我可以扮演不同的角色。那所以这是跟我们今天的探索的主题其实是相关的，因为探索可能不是说探索不同的地方，而是就是说可能是探索不同的时空领域，或者说探索不同的，你可能就是说一个角色扮演，变成其他不同的人。 那就是天时地利人和，其实就是我想大家可能还记得，Shirley之前有讲过一个成功的要素嘛，那就是中国人讲，就是说成功的要素除了自己本身的努力之外，还有就是必须有天时地利人和。所以我今天就是在这边告诉这个咖啡。
Barry 讲得很好，他也用了我们今天的 the word of the day。如果要是问我坐时空机去哪里，我会想去 future， 因为我觉得中国的过去历史太多征战了。我同意 Casey 的想法，然后我觉得太不和平，太累了，所以我想未来可能会是世界大统一吧，很 peace 的。然后我想到将来未来的 peace 的世界里去。谢谢，非常谢谢 Barry。
Okay, thank you, Barry. We're now going to move to the evaluation part of our meeting, and Elliot will be leading this section. So if I could have Elliot, please.
Thank you, Marshika and Kayla. I am the general evaluator. 今天我是总评估员. This portion of the program is actually the third portion of our speech skills. How important it is depending on the realization that feedback is very important. 没有评估就没有进步. When you don't have the feedback, you do not have the progress. I have said over and over again that practice does not make perfect, it makes permanence. So if you do not have correction, you will be permanently doing what you are doing incorrectly. Is that so? So at this portion, we have invited evaluators for our speakers. Evaluating Marco today will be none other than our area governor, Joanne. Joanne?
Where do I begin? Marco's speech. I have to tell you, the icebreaker is my favorite. The icebreaker gives you an opportunity to learn about Marco. It also gives Marco an opportunity to showcase the strengths he already has by being up here in the podium in front of all of you. So I'd like to share the areas that I think Marco did exceptionally well and that he should continue to do in his next few speeches, and two areas that I think he should work on specifically for his next speech, which is organize it. So what did Marco do well? He persevered. Despite his sore throat, he really took the stage and commanded it. And I had zero problem hearing that. So I thought that perseverance is very key. He also used analogies. Analogies are a great tool in any speech, like being dealt different cards, the song New York, New York to describe resilience. Anytime you can visualize your point, that really hits it home to the audience more. So anytime you can use analogies in your speech, do it. It's very impactful. Also body language. In the beginning, he was constricted to the front of the podium, but I could see him moving back, use of arms, and that really showed his emotion and passion throughout the speech. I thought that was very well. The last thing I want to share is the fact that he was able to synthesize his whole life and share with you two areas. Two areas, he said, although I noted a lot of things about Marco this evening. So he was able to synthesize a lot of information about him into a few key points that we could walk away with. Now, second speech and future. Second speech is organize your speech. Have a definite intro, body, and conclusion. What can Marco do to kick up his speech a notch? Two main things. One is intro and conclusion. Your intro is your opportunity to grab your audience's attention, identify and share what your message is, and so that you can use that theme throughout your speech. So use that intro as your opportunity to get the audience's attention and engage immediately. Second is conclusion. Again, opportunity to wrap up your main points. And It's that last few seconds that the audience has of you. So think about it as your way, what do you want the audience to remember when they read your speech? So intro and conclusion is one. Second is a theme. Make sure every speech has a theme. What message do you want the audience to walk away with? And I think a great theme from your speech is that how your various experiences has made you into the strong, resilient person you are today. Your experience in living in a broken home, in living in Hong Kong, experiencing racism as an Air Force member. So resilience is just one idea of a message and theme that you can weave throughout your speech. Again, I really enjoyed your analogies, your use of body language, the fact that despite his sore throat, he still came up here and delivered a very good icebreaker speech. Some things to make note of. Make sure you grab us right away with your intro, summarize your conclusion, and use that theme, weave it throughout your speech. Thank you.
Thank you, our Area Governor Joanna Lamore. The next person who is going to be our evaluating second speaker, Timo, will be Kathy Kwong. Kathy Kwong evaluating Timo.
It is Timo's third speech, and the objective of the third speech is get to the point. There are some of the objectives he has to achieve for this speech. One of the three is to inform. The second or the third is to persuade, and the last is to inspire. From the beginning of his speech, he introduced his 3D printing technology. No one really knows about it. So I gotta open our eyes to the technology, what it can do or not. So he started with an example, or maybe a doorknob can be ordered by a printer with just a button rather than going to the store, spending 20 minutes in the store. So that grabbed our attention. It informs us also what the technology can provide us in the future and in the present. And then from the positive point, he moved to the negative. What the 3D printing technology can do harm, like the defense contractor could be printing a rifle in an instance that would not be regulated by the government. And then lastly, he moved back to the positive point saying, but it also gives us the freedom as individual will be publicly used technology in the future, will be fully enhance our life and lifestyle. So I really like his speech. There are 3 points I really like his speech. First is the information and the story he provides us with examples. It fully conveys what the technology can do. It also provides pictures of us, what the technology can provide, the objects, the methods, and the time. Second is the clear organizations. He came with the positive, negative, and positive again. And then third is his eye contact. He maintained eye contact throughout the room in his speech. Something I would like to maybe see in his next speech would be, he has really good content, but I would like to see a stronger intro. Maybe instead of using, have you ever thought your doorknob could be coming out from a 3D printer as a first opening sentence? That would immediately grab our attention while I say, oh, nobody really know what 3D printing technology goes now. And then lastly, I think he did really well with the speech by wrapping up the conclusions with the information that resonates with his title, Exploration, because he ends his conclusion saying that we will see what the 3D technology will bring us in the future. So that ends with the explorations. Thank you.
谢谢 Kathy。现在轮到我们中文的一部分的评估，来评估 Ursula 她的奶油或糖，是我们的 Alan 我。
Thank you, Elliot. Thank you very much.
说英文。
请说英文还是中文？我都准备好要讲中文了。我先问你，这是你的第二个 speech， 对不对？
对。
Okay, so it is her second speech. I just have to say, well, she requests to be in the English, so I'm going to say in the English version.
中文和英文。
中文和英文。
简单的中文。
简单的中文。
Japanese. No.
And then in Israel, what we do is, no, just kidding. Okay, so 第二个 speech， 它的题目叫做 Organize 你的 speech。Okay， 所谓 Organize 你的 speech, you gotta have 3 parts. You gotta have a strong intro, a very well documented body, and a very strong conclusion to wrap up the intro, just like what Joanna has said. Now, 今天你有没有做到这3点呢？第一点 ，a strong intro. I love your intro. I don't think there's any better way than acting out the intro because right away you grab everyone's attention by standing here with a good prop of cups and what else do you have? You have cups and 2 cups and the cream. The thing. Yeah, that when you standing out here, people already thought, what is she doing? You already grabbed everyone's attention. That's a good prop. Good start to start with that. And you have a very calm and very collected manner. Like you stand out here, even though this is only a second speech, you already act like it. Well, you already are a seasoned speaker because you're really calm and collected. And when you say stuff, you say it very clearly and very, very slow with a clear pronunciation. Okay, that was a really, really good point. So people can understand you. That's really good. Now, strong intro. Now, the body, which is a little tricky because you gotta have a good point to support your intro. It's good to use stories to tell your points, but stories can be a little subjective because everyone can interpret a story differently, right? Because everyone has different background, different culture, different upbringings. So it would be better if you can use some sort of analogy, because for analogy will be more clear, more steady with that point down. So that's a part I think that I can use a little more work on that. But it was a great story. I think the stories really really get everyone's attention as well. And finally, the conclusion. The conclusion was a good conclusion, but it can be more stronger. Now your whole point is trying to say, we're trying to simplify the life, right? Not too many options, not too many choices. We want to have a simple life. Make that home. Get that to the point. Like really try to get that home right there. Say that. Why we have so many? Why we have so many choices in your life? Let's just try to have a simple life. Isn't that what life is about? Try to make that home. Hone it. That's your whole point. Other than that, great eye contact, great manner. Everybody love your stories. And I'm really looking forward to your third speech, which is get to the point. I don't think you can get to any more point than that. So good job.
谢谢 Alan， 对我们很大的帮助就是我们的恒哈观，然后时间观。现在我要请我们的恒哈观 our counselor to come up to tell us about the unnecessary fillers. In that role is none other than Mr. Alberto.
Let's start with Marchika, 5 7 4 so. At the beginning, after that we get better. Kayla, only 1 I try to improve my Chinese. Sue, only 1 Amy, 1 during the introduction of the officers' roles. I just try to be nice. Marco, 3 5 5 so, and 5 you know. But it was really amazing because I saw you fillers in the beginning and after you go more confident outside the podium. No fillers. I guess it's a brain process, I guess. My friend Ursula, 3 2 I'm sorry, name the guest. What is your name?
Shani.
Shani?
Shani.
Yeah. You have 1 1 so, 1 you know. You're pretty good. My friend Johan, we are really good today. I think you're practicing the mirror, I guess. Only 1 so. It's good. I Toastmaster is doing something in your brain. Huh? Very fai a one two niga. I guess probably goes.
Even with Chinese?
Yes. Oh, I heard you Jugga.
Kathy 4 3 Sam 4 1 Our distinguished area governor 2 so. This is my report for today.
谢谢我们的恒哈官，现在我们叫时间官 Philip 来报告我们时间表现。
So I'm going to quickly go through the times. For the first speech, Marco, it was 6 minutes and 22 seconds. Second speech, Timo, it was 6 minutes 32 seconds. With Ursula, it was 6 minutes 42 seconds. And then for the Mandarin speeches, the first speech was, oh, I'm sorry, let me go into the table topics. The first table topics was Xin Yi, it was 1 minute 15 seconds. Ling was 52 seconds. Johan was 1 minute 19 seconds. For the Mandarin table topics, Sue was 1 minute 27 seconds. Kathy was 47 seconds. Samuel was 52 seconds. And then for the evaluation, I apologize for Joanna. I forgot. I got wrapped up in the evaluation. I forgot to clue you in with the timing card. So it was 3 minutes 35 seconds. I accept responsibility for that. And for Kathy, it was 2 minutes and 46 seconds. For Alan, it was 3 minutes and 7 seconds. And since we have some new people here, I think maybe I should review the timing so this way everyone's clear. The first speech, for the ice-breaking speech, is normally 4 to 6 minutes. So, and for the other standard speeches, it's 5 to 7 minutes. When it comes to the icebreakers, usually we try to keep it within 1 to 2 minutes. And for evaluations, we aim for 2 to 3 minutes. And then, so usually I give you a clue. When you have a green card, that means that you're hitting the, I guess, you're getting, it clues you in that, that you're getting into that danger zone. And obviously when you get yellow, then you're further along. When you get to red, you really should wrap it up, preferably within 30 seconds. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Philip. Now that concludes the reports from the different functionaries. And my part now as general evaluator will just talk about the meeting in general, but also as the mentor of this club, I also add my evaluation of the club progress in general, since this is a brand new club. Starting off with so many positive points that I have for this club. And I do compare to many clubs, and Joanne probably would agree on some of the observations I made, makes this club distinguished than the other. Number one, we definitely have a bilingual club, and it is a huge challenge already as it is. You know me, I am listening to whether or not both languages are well represented. It does not have to be equally represented, but it has to be represented. I see a lot of improvement there. Definitely we want to have the English portion of it because that's the common language. But those people who come to this meeting, many of them have the idea that they want to be exposed to 2 languages, and so we're very careful. I'm looking, say for instance, we do have a non-native Chinese speaker who is an ah counter. And he listened very carefully to not only the ahs and the ums, but zigga, nigga, nigga, zigga. Okay? That is excellent. Almost to the point where some of your other non-native speakers had picked up on there right away. So you were here, whatever he didn't catch, Ursula caught. Okay. And the other thing that I like in seeing this club well represented is that Marshka, when she stood up here, she introduced Kayla right away. Some of our meetings, we have the English Toastmaster take over the whole thing and then briefly mention we have a Mandarin player. Here's what I want to advise all of you. Kayla took this self-initiative to translate, and she didn't wait for Marshika to allow her the time. So in the interest, when you are in the future allowed to be the Mandarin portion of it, you need to be a little bit more aggressive and just jump in there. What we learn over here, whether it's in Chinese or English, is your ability to speak up here. So if you don't have the opportunity because one person is stronger, you need to say something. I want you to notice how Kayla jumped in and put her own little spin on things besides just translating. That was good. One other things that I do think you did really well is the theme. Everybody was so enthusiastic about that, almost in your speeches and your comment. Continue to do that. The other thing that's really excellent with this club that no other club does is that they actually introduce the officers. That's kind of a refreshing idea too. Number one, it makes the officer feel there's ownership of your leadership role in this club, and it also inspires people who are coming to this club to see that who's really helping you behind the background. You don't just show up in the meeting and enjoy this. Someone put this together in all the roles that you do there too. And where this could improve, here's a couple things. Time management of this club. Because you're brand new, and also am so fascinated how creative you are. The time ran a little over, and there are two areas that I see where it ran over. Most of it happened in the table topics, okay? We do have two table topics person who are very creative, Alberto and Barry. And because of that, do you notice that the questions ran longer than the answers? Okay, we are enjoying it and we really appreciate it. But in order for you to learn from Toastmaster and Toastmaster structure, the part that's given to table topics is to get as many people to have speaking opportunities. What I would like to do as a suggestion is because Albert is so creative with his visual aids and his subject is so inspirational, there are manual advanced speeches that talk about him introducing a subject and then have a Q&A interaction. That's called the interpersonal advanced manual. Yeah, same thing too for Barry in his part. He introduced this whole concept of the Chinese philosophy of the three different layers of approaching the question of exploration. That itself could have been a whole speech there too, and you get credit. This way, we could reserve the table topics, which is what it is, catting as many people as possible, okay? One more quick question, a suggestion about table topics. If I have a role, and I'm going to be here, you know, here I am talking, I have a chance to exercise that, that's fine. This is a two-track club. One is communication, the other is leader. If you have a role in here, and your table topics person is so confused that they ask you to speak, Philip would say, I already have a speaking role, you see. So Barry asked me to speak, I said, I have a speaking role. So Kathy forgot, and so she will know that she does have a speaking role as an evaluator. That case, next time she goes, she says, I'm going to be an evaluator already. In this way, we can get one more person in there. Maybe this gentleman sitting there. I'm going to get him next time, okay? So other than that, I think this club is wonderful, and you are going to go even faster. And I am going to give the lecture back to your two wonderful Toastmasters. 谢谢.
Thank you, Elliot, for your very kind feedback, and to all the evaluators. So now I'd like to get feedback from our guests today. I noticed we have a few more from when we started, so I don't think we got your name at first.
Howard.
Howard, okay. How did you hear about the group?
I got it from the website.
From the website?
Yes. Yes. Yes, Meetup.
Oh.
Actually, I heard about Meetup website from a friend.
Okay.
And I checked their website.
Oh, okay. All right. And what did you think about our meeting today? Did you have any comments?
At the beginning, I thought it was just talking, but later I learned it's just actually teaching how to speech, or not public speech. It's learning about speaking skills.